In today's program, we are talking about magnesium and sleep. Did you know that over half the people in the U.S. have some form of insomnia? Most sleeping pills, especially when taken over long periods of time, they stay in the bloodstream, giving you a hangover the next day and beyond. They will impair your memory, your performance on the job, and even at home. But from a nutritional perspective, several research studies have shown certain minerals to be effective alternatives to help people fall asleep and stay asleep throughout the night. Well, sleeplessness is a big problem in America. Now, according to the National Sleep Foundation, almost 6 out of 10 Americans report having insomnia at least a few nights weekly. And insomnia is defined as an inability to fall asleep or remain asleep long enough to feel rested, especially when the problem continues over time. Well, in an effort to combat this, as many as 25% of the people in the U.S. use medications to help them sleep. Well, the use of prescription sleeping drugs such as Ambien, Lunesta, Sonata have been steadily increasing. Global sales for all sleeping pills, called hypnotics, will top $5 billion in the next several years. Most sleeping pills, especially when taken over long periods of time, again, they stay in your bloodstream. They're going to give you a hangover effect, and they also will continue to impair your memory and your performance. And did you know this? Some of those drugs actually increase the risk for Alzheimer's disease. Well, also Dr. James Balch, who's the author of the big iconic nutritional book, The Prescription for Nutritional Healing, actually says that a lack of the nutrients of calcium and magnesium will cause you to wake up after a few hours and not be able to return to sleep. Now, according to the National Sleep Foundation, approximately 70 million people in the U.S. are affected by a sleep problem. Now, also about 12 million Americans have restless leg syndrome, a sleep and movement disorder characterized by unpleasant tingling, crawling, that creepy feeling and pulling feelings in the legs, which cause an urge to move in order to relieve the symptoms. And then a few seconds later, they come back again. Well, about 42 million sleeping pill prescriptions were filled in 2005. Now, according to the research, up nearly 60% since the year 2000. And 10% of Americans report that they regularly struggle to fall asleep or to stay asleep throughout the night. Well, as many as 47 million Americans, or I should say 47 million adults, may be putting themselves at risk for injury, health, and behavior problems because they aren't meeting their minimum sleep need in order to be fully alert the next day. And sleep deprivation and sleep disorders are estimated to cost the United States over $100 billion a year. Well, did you know that 80% of the population has a deficiency in a critical nutrient that makes you twice as likely to die as other people, according to a study published in the Journal of Intensive Care Medicine? It also accounts for a long list of symptoms and diseases, which are easily helped and often cured by adding this nutrient. In fact, from my experience, this nutrient is one of my secret weapons against illness. Yet up to half of the Americans are deficient in this nutrient, and they don't even know it. Well, can you guess what I'm talking about today? I'm talking about magnesium. It's an antidote to stress, the most powerful relaxation mineral available, and it can help improve your sleep. Now, why aren't more doctors tapped into the benefits of magnesium? Well, did you know that they use it all the time in conventional medicine? But they never stop to think about why or how important it is to our general health and why it helps our bodies function so much better. Did you know that magnesium is on the emergency room crash cart? If someone was dying of a life-threatening arrhythmia, which is an irregular heartbeat, they use intravenous magnesium. If someone was constipated or needed to prepare for colonoscopy, they gave them milk of magnesia or a green bottle of liquid magnesium citrate, which emptied their bowels. If a pregnant woman came in with preterm labor or high blood pressure of pregnancy or seizures, they gave them a continuous high dose of intravenous magnesium. but you don't have to be in the hospital to benefit from getting more magnesium. And this is what I want you to listen to. You can start taking regular magnesium supplementation today and actually start seeing the results. You see, think of magnesium as the relaxation mineral. Anything that is tight, irritable, cramping, and stiff, whether it's a body part or even your mood, is a sign of magnesium deficiency. This critical mineral is actually responsible for over 300 enzyme reactions and is found in all of your tissues, but mainly in your bones, your muscles, and even your brain. See, you must have it for your cells to make energy, for many different chemical pumps to work, to stabilize the membranes, and to help your muscles relax. Now, when was the last time you had a good dose of seaweed, nuts, greens, and even beans? If you're like most Americans, your nut consumption mostly, well, it comes from peanut butter. Well, that is why the list of conditions that are found related to magnesium deficiency is so long. In fact, there are over 3,500 medical references to magnesium deficiency. Even so, this mineral is mostly ignored because it is not a drug, even though it is more powerful than drugs in many cases. That's why they use it in a hospital for life-threatening and emergency situations like seizures and heart failure. Now, you might be magnesium deficient if you have any of the following symptoms. And I want you to look up at the board here. And I didn't write them all down because like I said, there's over 3,500. But since we're talking about insomnia, I want you to see what can be related in those areas. Muscle cramping. How many of you complain? You go to bed, you lay down to relax, and all of a sudden you get a muscle cramp. You get one in the calf, you get one in your thigh, and you're like, oh, how do I get rid of this? Magnesium. Insomnia. Most people, if they start taking magnesium every night, they are going to see a great improvement in removing that insomnia. Sensitivity to loud noises. How many of you can wake up if a pin just dropped on the floor? Just something so minute wakes you up. You know, maybe your spouse is laying next to you and they just sigh, and that's just enough to wake you up. Magnesium can actually improve the way we respond to noises at night. You know, some of us, we just can't go to sleep because we can barely hear the wind blow. You know, I was the same way for years. I mean, I could hear just the minute sound, and it would wake me up, and it'd take me an hour to go back to sleep again. Not anymore, because I take magnesium every night. Of course, something else may help too. If you really have to deal with loud noises, earplugs work great. Anxiety. How many of you lose sleep because you have a chronic state of anxiety every day, all day, and you take it to bed with you? You just can't relax and calm down. Heart issues. We're talking about heart palpitations, angina, which is like a heart cramp. Any body part, any muscle, including your heart, if it cramps, that's low magnesium. So that's how important this is in the years of heart health. So palpitations, angina, high blood pressure, all of these things are linked for cardiovascular, and they're linked directly with magnesium. Headaches. How many of you have headaches? You wake up with a headache and you go to bed with a headache. Well, you need to check your diet. You may need to go to the doctor to be properly diagnosed to see if it's just stress related, if it's hormonal related, food related. But let me tell you something. Start taking magnesium. What did I say before? 3 major areas of the body that needs magnesium are your bones, your muscles, and your brain. So keep that in mind. Now let's take a look over here. Fibromyalgia. Now a lot of you, I am stunned how many people have fibromyalgia. That is a chronic tightening of the muscles. The thing is this, muscles that are so tight they start becoming knotted up, they're squeezing those nerve endings, causing constant pain. But people who have fibromyalgia, they literally cannot sleep at night because of the pain. Magnesium has always been the #1 nutrient that people with fibromyalgia need. You've got to have magnesium to get those muscles to relax. You know, a lot of people say, well, I take my calcium at night, but they forget magnesium. But calcium actually constricts, it tightens. So if you already have a tightened muscle problem, calcium is just going to make it worse. you've got to balance it out with the magnesium. And tell you the truth, you need more magnesium than you need the calcium. Next, fatigue. Yes, magnesium may be the relaxing mineral, but guess what? It also is part of our ATP, our energy production in our body. You have to have that relaxing mineral to actually improve your overall energy during the day. Also, irritable bladder. Some of you have an irritable bladder. You may have interstitial cystitis. You may want to give magnesium a try. IBS, a lot of you have irritable bowel syndrome. Again, irritable bowel syndrome is 95% of it is actually caused by stress. And here's the secret. If you can, you need to relax the smooth muscle of the colon. And magnesium can definitely help do that. So by relaxing that, you can actually prevent constipation and diarrhea. You bring normal health to the colon area. And again, once you fight stress, you can relieve the irritable bowel syndrome and also improve overall colon function. And then also some people just have simply a trouble swallowing. Some people, millions of people have sleep apnea. Now, I'm not saying that magnesium is directly related to that, but with over 3,500 conditions related to magnesium deficiency, if you have sleep apnea, I would highly suggest you start taking magnesium immediately, because they can definitely help that. And who knows, it may actually help you to stop snoring when you do fall asleep.
Get ready for a whole new approach to good health. Call Natural Vitality today for your free sample pack, which includes free samples of Natural Calm, information about how magnesium is important to your health, and a free coupon to use at any natural health location that sells Natural Vitality's Natural Calm products. Call Natural Vitality today for naturally calm, better health.